Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Good. Nice breakfast, wasn't it? Great. Well, thank you so much, Heather. Heather and HCA have done so much for LLS over the years. What a great sponsor they have regularly been for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Sarah Cannon has always fielded one of the best teams that we ever have in the Light the Night Walk, and I'm so glad that they are behind us again this year, and I'm really honored that Heather asked me to do this. I wanted to recognize, go off script just a moment and recognize my committee, the executive committee, because we sure as heck wouldn't have the group we have here this morning if we didn't have the participation by everybody in our committee. So I want y'all to stand as I say your name, and they're great folks, but hold your applause or we'll never get through this until we're done. Courtney Mosley, I know you're here with Nashville Predators. Shannon Dosho with Parallon. Oh, she's here, good deal. Leela Hollabaugh, Bradley, yeah. Gene Hoover with Walgreens, good deal. Dick Miller at Earl Swenson. Lisa Morrissey from Sarah Cannon, good deal. Tara Myers at also at Earl Swenson. Patrick Rafferty at Centennial. I saw Patrick, there he is, he's not hard to miss, he's big. Todd Redmond from MedHost. Shane Reeves from 12 Stone, good deal. Eric Ward with Parallon, there he is, good deal. And Charlie Williamson, I'm not sure Charlie's here this morning yet. Well, give everybody here a hand on the good committee. So as Heather said, all of us have some connection, with cancer and with blood cancer specifically. In the past year, I've lost two of my good friends to cancer. One of my oldest and dearest friends and one of my best clients died last year, right about this time from cancer. Right about this time also last year, we celebrated the life of one of my tennis buddies who died from blood cancer. We had his wake in this very room. About 2 years ago, one of my law partners came down with AML, acute myeloid leukemia, said to be one of the worst possible cancers you can get. And fortunately, he's still with us. In fact, he's with us this morning. I'm so glad he's here. I was drawn to LLS because it offers real solutions. It pays for treatment for patients. A lot of folks who get blood cancers are not old. I mean, they're young people. And so they're not eligible for Medicare. And so somebody's got to help most of them get through this. And LLS spent last year $2.3 million paying for care for patients right here in Tennessee and $40 million nationally. Secondly, and you heard Chip reference this in his opening video, LLS funds and participates in the funding of revolutionary new medications. In just the last 36 months, and I'll talk about this a little bit more later, as will Heather, there have been some incredible advances in the treatment of cancer. So we're here this morning to raise money to fight for a good cause, and in beating cancer, you can't have a better cause than that. So let me introduce now our mission speaker this morning, Chip Hoback. Chip is a member of the Board of Trustees for the Tennessee office of LLS. He was Man of the Year in 2013. He's an executive account executive with Technogent, and many of you know Chip from his years as being an announcer at WSMV, Vanderbilt football, NBA football, and NCAA events. He's the host of the Tennessee Capitol Report on the Nashville Public television station, which I recommend that you watch. It's very good. And he's here to tell you about his personal story and his connection with LLS. Chip, so y'all ready? Let's do it, all right? Let's do the Light the Night. So as you can see, the Light the Night is a great event, particularly this year because it's the 70th anniversary of the founding of LLS. This great dedicated organization is giving people reason to believe that we can beat cancer. We can believe because LLS was behind drugs like Gleevec, a targeted therapy that vastly improves outcomes for those with CML, that's chronic myelogenous leukemia, This year's honored hero, a 13-year-old boy, is taking this medication and is doing well. We can believe because LLS is also behind the next generation of precision medicine and innovative new clinical trials, like the one that discovered the revolutionary CAR T-cell therapy, which is personalized therapy using the patient's own immune cells, or T cells, to fight cancer. It's used to stymie ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is very common among children. We can believe because LLS is helping patients battle the financial hurdles of fighting cancer. As I mentioned earlier, LLS distributed over $2.3 million to Tennesseans just last year. We can believe because LLS has a unique therapy acceleration program where LLS partners directly, that's a fancy word for invest money in small underfunded biotech companies to accelerate the development of promising funded therapies. Vyxeos, which was approved at the FDA in 2017 as the first medication specifically for AML, acute myeloid leukemia, was developed with the assistance of this program. In other words, LLS invested in this company that was about to not be able to make it. They made it. They made the medication, and it's on the market today and saving lives. We can believe because for more than 20 years, LLS's Information Resource Center has delivered counseling, support, and advice to patients and parents about the disease and clinical trials and their best path forward. And you heard Chip talk about the support that the LLS staff gives to folks. And they have medical personnel on the staff to help with the details of things that we just don't understand, like me, I don't understand. And we can believe because LLS is relentless to get results, especially where progress has been stagnant. And the two current initiatives that they're really pushing is Beat AML, as we've said, it's the worst one, and then also pediatric cancer. Pediatric cancer research is not funded as well in the private sector because there are fewer potential patients. There are fewer people who might end up needing the medication. So LLS has stepped in where the private sector isn't able to fully develop that. So LLS is among the most successful and impactful, respected nonprofits in the world. The only way LLS can continue to lead in these research and funding initiatives is through partnerships with companies like yours. So think about it. Good companies have the power to not only excel in their own business, but also to mobilize staff and resources. And going beyond is not only the right thing to do, but it's good for business. The LLS Light the Night is one of the best platforms for companies to get involved in the fight against cancer. You saw in the video how team members of your companies come together to fight for the common good. It's a powerful event. It's the 5th largest fundraising walk in the United States, with events in 140 cities all over the country, with over 1 million participants and over 10,000 corporate teams. Light the Night is unique because, as you noticed in the video, it takes place after dark. So it features a one-of-a-kind glowing lanterns in the gold, white, and red. Walkers choose the lantern that best match their reason for participating. And then they bring the lantern to an emotional ceremony in the center, where the cancer survivors are in the center and the folks with the red and gold lanterns surround them, and it's very uplifting and moving event. It's a beautiful way for everyone to feel connected to the great work that LLS is doing. I thought you might be interested in seeing the news report of last year's walk.
Thousands come together to raise more than $1 million for Middle Tennesseans battling cancer.
The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Light the Night Walk honors lives lost and those currently impacted by blood cancers. News Channel 5's Emily Luxon shows us the emotional event.
It's a cause that brings together thousands of people every year. Each lantern represents a life changed by cancer.
My father died of leukemia, so for me it really is special, I think.
The festive event brings attention to a serious issue as participants rallied around those who have won their battles against cancer and those who are still fighting by raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
And last year in Tennessee, we gave over $2.3 million directly to patients to help them with copay assistance and travel assistance.
For musician Charles Eston, the cause is personal. His daughter Addie was 2.5 when she was diagnosed with leukemia. He wants to make sure others follow in her footsteps and become survivors.
Our doctor told us right then, she said, your child has leukemia, here's what we're gonna do. And she was able to tell us something they were gonna do because of the years of research and fundraising that had already occurred.
With lanterns in hand, participants walked from Nissan Stadium into downtown Nashville to shed light on an important issue.
We see way too many people affected by this disease, and I work for a healthcare organization, and we know the importance of taking care of people, but also the family members.
And participants hope this walk will symbolize another step toward ending leukemia and lymphoma forever. In Nashville, Emily Luxon, News Channel 5.
The night is wrapping up with a concert by Charles Heston and Kelly Pickler, as well as fireworks.
So as you can see, we're literally bringing the light to the darkness of cancer. We want to engage you and your employees to join us. Research shows that corporate responsibility is good for teams and good for your bottom line. Companies that engage employees outperform those that don't by up to 200%. And employee engagement skyrockets when volunteerism is part of your company's philanthropic culture. Your employees will appreciate the commitment as well, as 93% of consumers have a more positive image of a company that supports a cause, and 88% of them are more loyal to companies and products that give back. We're looking for partners who are passionate about success, about changing lives, and about creating more survivors in the world, simply about curing cancer. So there are basically 4 ways for you and your organization to join this mission through Light the Night. First is to be a sponsor. These are the sponsors that we've lined up so far for this year's event, and we need more. So you can leverage your brand by sponsoring the Light the Night, and these are some of the local companies. The LLS team works with you on how your sponsorship can best maximize your investment. And we sure want to thank all of our local sponsors who are shown on this slide. We want to especially highlight the 4 hero sponsors, Sarah Cannon, my law firm, Byrne Foreman, Delta Dental, and Earl Swinson and Associates. We can sure use more hero sponsors than just the 4 of us. Second, you can form corporate fundraising teams. You saw a number of those in the videos. And so these allow your employees to become part of something bigger by forming Light the Night fundraising teams. Their pride and interconnection will soar as they light the night. And if you go on the LLS website, you'll see teams have already started forming, and you can see the history of the teams that have participated, and that it's a really impressive number of teams and different companies, and like I said, Sarah Cannon is always one of the top ones. Third, it can join the Executive Challenge. The Executive Challenge is an opportunity for folks like you, leaders in your companies and in your communities, to support the effort to cure cancer personally by personally raising funds for LLS outside of your company's own donation. This year we're striving for 50 executives to raise $350,000, and we'd like you to be one of our executive challengers. Todd Redmond is here. Todd, please stand again. He's the Chief Operating Officer of MedHost, and he's leading the Executive Challenge this year. Thank you so much, Todd. And the 4th way is to open the door for retail partnerships. Walgreens, Gene Hoover was in this role last year, and Walgreens is a great example of a retail partnership where they allowed consumers to participate by purchases made right there at Walgreens, and people do go to Walgreens, so it was a really good deal. So if your business is in retail or you have a connection to a retail business, we'd love to partner together to build a program where your employees and customers can easily support LLS at the register in a variety of ways. Okay, so now's the time you've all been waiting for. There's an envelope on the table, and in it there's a form that looks a lot like this. In fact, it better look just like this. And you've heard a lot about LLS from me and Heather and Chip, both Chips. So now the table host is going to circulate those forms and be available to talk to you about the ways you and your company might be able to help LLS and share ideas about the best way to participate. So with that, I'll turn this over to the table host